Dr.K.Sri Dhammananda Nayakatero, Reverend Saranankara, Resident Monk, Reverend Bodhi, ladies and gentlemen, and devotees. Today we are all gathered here to participate in the commemoration ceremony, the 8th commemoration ceremony, in memory of the late Venerable Dharmeswara Nayakatero, who was the founder of this temple and who had been residing in this temple for about 27 years. Reverend Dharmeswara passed away on the 8th of May 1979. And today we have the opportunity, after many years, we have the opportunity to hold this commemoration ceremony to transfer merits to the late Reverend Dharmeswara. And we are happy to see you all present here this evening. Many of you would have been associated with the late Reverend when you came to this temple years ago, and you would have known what type of a Reverend he was. Many of you had come to him for spiritual guidance and had benefited much from him. Many of you had come to him for now, the late Venerable had the ability to comfort those in times of sickness and those in pain. And I believe many of you had come to him for that, and he had been successful. And we all know that he had contributed much towards the propagation of the Buddhist faith. And his demise is an irreplaceable loss to the devotees of this temple. And this ceremony, which we are holding, is for 2 days. Today, we are having a Buddha Puja, followed by Bana, where a sermon will be given by the Chief High Priest of Malaysia, Venerable Dr.K.Sri Dhammananda Nayakatero. And tomorrow, Sunday, the 3rd, at about 11 a.m., we are having a Buddha Puja, followed by Dana. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I will now call upon the Venerable Dr.K.Sri Dhammananda Nayakatero to give his sermon. Thank you very much.
So I understand you have observed the 5 precepts. So not necessary to observe again, because you cannot break any of those so soon. Then recite Namo Tassa 3 times. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Saggamukhadang Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Kicho Manussa Patilabho Kichang Machana Jivitang Kichang Saddhamma Savanang Kicho Buddhanang Uppadoti. Dear devotees, we are gathered here to pay our tribute and to express our gratitude towards Venerable Dharmeswara, who has done religious services for more than 27 years in this temple. After his passing away, you have performed various kinds of religious services to transfer the merits. And this year, you have decided to do the same thing by informing and inviting more devotees. I remember when I heard he was very sick in Asunta Hospital, I went to see him. While holding his hand, I started to do some chanting. So immediately after my chanting, he closed his eyes, passed away immediately after this chanting. Then, after our passing away, our destiny or the next existence or rebirth depend on our own good and bad karmic activities. Whether monk or layman makes no difference. Until we attain the higher stage of sainthood or arahant, our life or the existence depend on our own karmic forces. Another person is not responsible for that, either the Buddha or God. They cannot do anything. But still, many people cannot understand the real significance of transference of merits from the Buddhist perspective. Different people have different methods. In every religion there is something, some sort of religious rites and rituals or prayers to perform in the name of the departed ones. Some people pray to God. Those days there were another religious cult who used to pray to King of Hell, appealing him not to accommodate the departed person in hell. I don't think that method is active anymore here. And some others perform various kinds of rites and rituals and ceremonies as their tradition because of the fear. Because they believe if they do not perform these rites and rituals, there will be certain disturbances. So that is the main purpose of performing such religious rites and rituals. So many of those practices were introduced by primitive people who could not understand the real nature of death and actually what will happen to those who depart from this world. They had their own imaginations. And they also developed some sort of fear, thinking that the departed person may come and disturb them. Because of that, just to please them or to escape the disturbances that which come from them, they started to do slaughtering animals and offering and burning so many things and praying in various ways. They have performed all these rites and rituals. Again, according to Hindu tradition in India, even before the Buddha's coming, they had some sort of offerings, and they had a belief that only a son can perform a religious service or the rites to release the departed person's soul, because they believe soul. So, according to their tradition at that time, a daughter cannot do that. When the Buddha appeared in this world, he has rejected all those beliefs that people had been practicing as transference of merits. But he has introduced very rational, meaningful, religious practices for us to perform in a respectable way, but not a childish way, but not following traditions and customs. Then what is the method introduced by the Buddha? He never advised us to worship and pray to our departed ones, but we can respect our fathers, mothers, grandparents or elders, our friends. We can respect them, no harm at all. This ancestral worship started in China and Japan because of this. Pay homage and pay respect to remember all the services that they have rendered towards us. But that is not enough. Worshipping and praying and offering to departed one is not the only method to transfer the merits. Then some people believe that after our death, if rebirth has taken place either in hell or in animal forms, or the spirit or ghost or any other forms, that we can release them by performing these religious rites and rituals and ceremonies. Again, the Buddha has pointed out, it is impossible for us to release all of them. It doesn't work. Take for instance, those who were born in hell, if there is such place, due to their bad karmas, we cannot release them by transferring merits, unless and until they spend certain period there according to the degrees or the gravity of their own karma. Again, those who were born as animals have no grasping power to receive the merits that we transfer. So we cannot release them. Of course, there are some housewives who have introduced a new philosophy to justify. When they want to cut a chicken, they take the knife and get hold of the chicken and say, "Oh, you are a poor animal. You suffer here in this world. I don't like to see that you are suffering here. So I want to release you." you, and after that you can go to heaven, but I will wallop you. It's a very nice philosophy discovered by the housewives. This is the way how they try to justify certain things. So, Buddhism introduced very rational, meaningful method. What is that? If he really wants to help the departed ones, first we must do some meritorious deeds. Then what are the meritorious deeds? Still people cannot understand. Just now I told you, by performing rites and rituals and ceremonies we cannot accrue merits. They are not meritorious deeds. Merits in English, we use the word in Pali and Sinhalese language. Pali word is punya. Sinhalese word is ping, also derived from the same Pali word, ping, punya. Then what is the definitions of this word? Chittang punati ti punyang. Certain deeds that we perform with good intention, such as kindness, compassion, sympathy, understanding. These are the good intentions that we create in our mind to do some good deeds. Then what are the good deeds? Certain things that we perform to relieve others' suffering. Those who are sick, we can render some services toward them with good intention. By doing that, we create some sort of happiness in our mind. The happiness that we create in our mind because of our good intention and the good action is called merits, punya or ping. But this English word merits never convey that meaning. So whenever we do some meritorious deeds, we must have two important mental attitudes: happiness and understanding. Purity appear later. Many people perform so many kinds of meritorious deeds without happiness, without understanding, without purity, just only for the namesake. If not, just to escape from nuisance or blames. If not, expecting some sort of reward. There are very rich people who contribute few hundred thousands or millions of dollars as charity. But their intention is to get some sort of reward, either from the public or from the government, at least Dato, Sri, that is the reward. If not, some sort of position in the political field. They are not meritorious deeds. There is no purity in their mind. They have developed some sort of selfishness through their charity. So when we practice charity, we must have these qualities. Understanding. Why should we do this? For what purpose? Just to please God. That is what many other religions say. When you do some service to others, you please God, then God will reward you. Because this language is very easy even for small children to understand. Otherwise they never do good deeds. Just to encourage people to do good deeds, they introduce in this way. But the Buddhist attitude is not like that. We never do meritorious deeds to please the Buddha. We never do meritorious deeds to please God. We do a lot of good deeds to please others, those who suffer. Now this is the Buddhist attitude. After performing some merits, we invite Devas also to come and share our happiness. That is called transference of merits to Devas. We invite them come and share our happiness. Then we transfer these merits to our departed ones. I told you, those who are born in hell or animal kingdom or in certain forms of spirit or ghost forms, different forms, impossible to receive the merits that we transfer. They are not capable enough to receive. Again, those who are born as human beings due to their good karmas, and Devas and Brahmas and some others, they do not depend on others' karma. They have their own karmas. But we invite the Devas to share happiness because they have some sort of worldly powers far better than human beings. There are certain things that they also can do for us, for our protection and to avoid certain misfortune, accidents. But they cannot give us knowledge, wisdom, salvation. They cannot purify our mind. We have to do that. Now this is the difference between Buddhism and other religions. Because others depend on God for everything. But we say we cannot depend everything from them. There are certain things definitely they can do for us. Worldly things. In our day-to-day life, their protection is important for us. Therefore, as Buddhists, we don't deny the existence of gods or devas. They do exist. But we cannot gain our final salvation through the influence of such gods. But all the others depend on God for that. Since our understanding capacity is very poor, we cannot understand how we can gain our salvation by cultivating, purifying our own mental energy. Then, who are the departed ones can receive the merits that we transfer? Then people can ask, if we do not know where they are, if we do not know whether they can receive our merits or not, are we not going to waste our valuable property and time? This is a misunderstanding. Of course, if we perform all those unnecessary rites and rituals in the name of the departed one, it can become utter wastage, just only for the name's sake. But when you perform some meritorious deed, there is nothing for you to waste. First thing, you have done some service to others. You have provided food, medicine, clothing, shelter. It is a service. You have not wasted anything. On the other hand, we also accrued some merit by performing such religious services. And that happiness that we developed in our mind never disappeared. Then, if the departed ones are not ready or not capable enough to receive, doers, those who have done these meritorious deeds, will be benefited. Here you can see the difference now. There is nothing to waste. Since we do not know where they are, it is our duty to do something, at least to express our gratitude. Then we gain some sort of consolation. We can console ourselves thinking that we have done our duty. We have not neglected, forgotten our departed ones who have done some service to us. Our father or mother or teacher. Now you are doing or performing this religious service in memory or in the name of Venerable Dharmeswara. So you are showing your gratitude. On the other hand, you are doing some meritorious deed, some service. There is nothing for you to waste. And there is nobody in this world who can say that there is no value in your activities. Somehow or the other, departed ones as well as the doers or some others will be benefited. The Buddha has mentioned this. So jnati dhammo cha ayang nidassito petana puja cha kata ulara balancha bhikkhuna manuppadinna sumhehi punyang pasutang anappakam. Now we can understand what he says. Assume that you offer dana in the name of your departed one. So when you perform this meritorious deed, first thing, you have shown your gratitude towards your departed ones, your relatives or your friends. You have performed your duties. You can satisfy thinking that you have done your duty. That is the first act. Vetana puja cha kata ulara. If the departed ones can receive the merits that you transfer, they will be benefited. They get the chance to change that unfortunate state where they are, to have a better rebirth. But not all the others in hell and animal kingdom. In certain spirit form. I have to clarify this. Who they are. There are many human beings in this world who do not accumulate enough good merits to be born as human beings. It is a very difficult thing to become a human being. Is not an easy task. We do not know that. When you compare human life and animals' life, you can see the difference. On the other hand, they have not done very bad karma to suffer either in hell or animal kingdom or ghost world. I think the majority here in this world belong to this group. They work, earn something, eat, enjoy their life by disregarding others. They never think of others. They never think of their spiritual development or mental purity or the humane qualities or virtues. In fact, they have never developed or never given due credit to their human intelligence. Just live as animals. When I say just like animals, we can compare. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunancha. Samanya metat pasubhir narana. Dharmo hi tesang adhiko visesa. Dharmena hina pasubhir samana. It's a very nice saying in Sanskrit language. It's a Buddhist saying also. When you study the nature of animals' life, we can see they know only 4 things in their life. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. These 4 things. Eating, every animal eats. Bhaya, the real meaning self-defense. They fight for their own protection, maintain their life. They maintain some sort of fear to escape from death. Every creature maintains this. Then nidra, sleep. Every living being either relax or sleep. And the last one is sex. Now these are the four things. Eating, self-protection, sleeping, and experiencing sexual pleasure. Four things. Then, what is the difference between animals and humans? If human beings also lead their life by experiencing only these four things: eating, enjoying, sleeping, and fighting for their own self-protection. Is there any difference? No difference. Then how can we justify or point out that humans are higher or better than animals? In which way? Here, dharmo hi tesang adhiko visesa. There is something in that human mind that we can cultivate, which is called dharma. And this dharma you cannot find in animals. They have no chance. They have no sense of reasoning to justify certain things, to understand that this is right and this is wrong. But the human mind got potential, abilities, but unfortunately their ignorance, their selfishness, their craving, eclipse, cover all the potentials in their mind. That is why they cannot cultivate this. Then what is this dharma? The teachings of the Buddha also we introduce as Dhamma or Dharma, say. And many other religions also use this word. In India, every religion uses this word, Dharma. Here also, in Malaysia, in Islam also, they use the word Dharma. This word is a very meaningful word. So when you give the definition from the Buddhist point of view, defined in this way: Chatusu apayesu ca vatta dukkhesu ca apatamane kattva dhareti ti dhammo. This is the definition. Usually, when we use the word Dhamma, we interpret as teachings of the Buddha. But we do not know the definition. Chatusu apaya, four kinds of suffering, states of suffering. What are those four? Naraka, Tirachina, Peta, Asura. A rebirth can take place in one of these four places for people to suffer according to their bad karma. First thing is Naraka. Naraka means hell. Tirachina, animals. Animals also suffer, and they are very unfortunate when you compare with human life. Why? They do not know anything about their life. They are in the dark. They do not know how to mold, how to cultivate their life. They do not know anything about their life. What will happen to them after their death. In that sense, they are unfortunate. But we have our human intelligence to understand. And we can mold our next life, not only one after the other. We can go on developing and developing and developing until we reach hell, animal kingdom, a spirit form, and ghost. These are the four states. Spirits also very unfortunate. They exist for a long period, very miserable life. Ghosts are worse than a spirit. Hunger, thirst, anxieties, sufferings. They do exist. So when we uphold certain principles and good qualities as dharma, we never get into any of these unfortunate states. Our human mind can understand this. Religion, the duty of religion is to point out, teach. So dharma and religion here are the same. See the meaning of dharma. Then what is the root? How this word is derived? The root is called dhar in Sanskrit. Dhar means hold, without allowing to fall down. Now this earth, in Pali and Sanskrit language, this earth is called dharani. When you talk about earth, the Pali or Sanskrit word is dharani. What is the meaning? Dharani means that which hold everything. Because this earth can hold everything, good and bad, both. So dharma means the method that which hold us, support us, without allowing us to get into any of these unfortunate states. See how beautifully I have defined the word dharma. Not only that, furthermore, vatta dukkhesu sansara chakra, sansara vatta, wheel of existence. Although we could manage to escape from those four unfortunate states, still we go on within this cycle of birth and death, again and again and again. It is called repeated birth and death. Life or the human mind is very uncertain. Uncertain means changes can take place at any time. today or at this moment, you are very good. Look like very nice people. Smiling face. Not cruel or cunning or harmful or dangerous. Now I can trust you. But when you go out from this place, I cannot trust you. This is the nature of human mind. That is why a place of worship is very important. Whether it is temple or mosque or church or whatever it may be. When you spend a few hours in such a place, we can guard our mind, maintain some sort of peace, calmness, because there are no internal and external forces to disturb your mind, to irritate you, provoke you, to tempt you. That is why a place of worship is called sacred place. But when you go out, how many people are there to disturb you? Then all your hidden anger and so many other evil forces arouse, flare up, then start big fight. That is why the nature of the mind is such, very uncertain. Again, although you try to be good, not to do bad things, when temptation arouse, influence your mind, you lose your determination, your willpower, you surrender. You want to gain that, to satisfy your senses. Then you start bluffing, cheating, swindling, telling lies, robbing, disturbing, temptation. When others disturb, the jealousy, anger, hatred, grudge, enmity, then the mind completely change the mental attitude. This is the uncertainty. That is why it is very difficult for us to be good. We can do good, but not easy to be good. Physical body also going on changing and changing. Mind also going on changing. Today you are very good friends. Tomorrow you can become enemies. Now see the nature of the mind. Within few minutes you can change your mind. Then create lot of bad thoughts, bad words, bad action. By considering this situation, the Buddha has advised us. It is advisable for you to get rid of this wheel of existence. The more you remain, the more you have to struggle for your survival, for your pleasure. You have to work like slaves day and night to maintain this. In the end, what do you gain? The physical body that you look after by devoting your whole lifetime, feeding, bathing, washing, cleaning, decorating, spending thousands and thousands of dollars beautifying. What do you gain from this physical body? Think wisely, then you can understand. The time that you devote to cleanse your physical body, to decorate your physical body, how many minutes do you spend a day to cleanse your mind? Do you know, every minute you are going accumulating dirt, rubbish in your mind. You have to cleanse your mind also. How many times a day you wash and clean and take bath? But how many times you do the brainwashing? There are outsiders to come and do brainwashing. To cleanse the mind, science cannot cleanse the mind. Medicine also cannot cleanse the mind. No medicine. Medicine can clean brain cells and physical body. Mind is something else. There's a well-known scientist, Albert Einstein, says, even atomic energy also could not change the man's mind. Atomic energy has shaken the whole world. But there are no changes in the man's mind. Atomic energy cannot influence the mind for a wicked man to be a good man, a cruel man to be a kind person, criminal-minded person to be a religious-minded person. Atomic energy is useless in that sense. Only solution is religion. Let it be any religion. We are not worried about religious labels. So this existence creates a lot of problems. Because of so much of our craving for existence, under any circumstances, even at the cost of others' life, thousands of millions of others' life, we want to protect our own life. Now see how grave our craving for existence. Pleasure. To indulge all the senses. How much we spend. Our eyes, nose, mouth, ear, and the body. But in the end, what do we gain? Unsatisfactoriness, disappointment, and frustration. Assume throughout our life, we spent our whole life to enjoy our life, eating, drinking, dancing, merrymaking, and decorating, beautifying, everything. Then go on, decaying, growing old. Now senses are not active, limbs are not active, memory is weak. then create more and more worries, frustration, disappointment, unsatisfactoriness. At that time, can you gain happiness by considering how you enjoyed your life when you were young? Create more worries, more frustration. You think, what a pity. I can remember how I enjoyed when I was young. Today I am useless. I cannot do anything. At that time they are observing 8 precepts automatically. Because cannot do anything. See the way how the Buddha has analyzed. Because he does not want to console you by introducing an artificial life for you to develop your craving and more attachment. He wanted to analyze and tell you actually the real facts of life, reality in life. But many people don't like. People don't like to talk about death. Oh, don't talk about death as if they are immortal, they never die. Scared of death. But can they escape? The Buddha has advised us. Concentrate, contemplate every day on death. Why? When we contemplate on death, a lot of realization appear in our mind. Why should I commit all sort of bad, wicked, cruel things, create sufferings and problems to maintain this physical body? How many more years? Why not I maintain this without disturbing others? This is called realization. Not only that. Fear of death completely disappears from the mind. Many people are scared of death because of their ignorance. Fear of death completely disappears from the mind. Then they can strengthen their mind. Any time they are ready to face. When the death comes, they can say, come, welcome, I'm waiting for you. Others say, we don't want, go and hide under the bed. But can they escape? So this is a meditation. Meditation on death. When you go on meditating like this, some people say, oh, if you concentrate on death, we may die earlier. See the mentality of such people. Now in my case, actually I am not scared of death. But only thing, if I can live few more years, I can do some more service to others. Not for my own enjoyment. Otherwise, the more we live, the more we have to suffer. More and more new sicknesses also come, one after the other. Then the old age, then become real nuisance to others, nuisance to me also. If I cannot maintain my own physical body, become nuisance to others and nuisance to me. Then what is the big idea of living in that way? What do we gain? But this is an eternal problem. There is no end to it. That is why Sansara Chakra, again and again and again and again. If we neglect to accumulate merits, then we miss the target. Difficulty to become human beings again. How long can you carry on this? Today you are wise. You know how to appreciate religious way of life. That is why you are here. But how many millions of others completely neglect this way of life and go out and disturb others, rob and disturb, do all the dirty, immoral, wicked things. They too have human mind, but they cannot understand. Selfishness, craving, cunningness, they develop. So religion is to calm the mind and to reduce these weaknesses. Then Dharma support us to get rid of this repeated birth and death and worries and suffering physically and mentally in two ways. So what is Dharma again? There is another word called righteous way of life. But this is also in worldly sense. When complete purity takes place in our mind through our religious principles, virtues, good conduct, mental training, then the purity takes place. By praying and worshipping to God or Buddha, you cannot gain this purity or wisdom or understanding. But you get some sort of emotional satisfaction for the time being. Take for instance, when you are sick, when you have some family problems, some other problems, you go to a temple and express all your grievances and problems and do some offering, recite something. After that you feel a very big relief because you have unloaded so many heavy things that you maintain in your heart or in your mind. Therefore there must be some sort of object, either the Buddha or God or Deva or any other religious objects, according to your worldly way of thinking, to get rid of your worries and burdens, uncertainty in your life. You need this. But you never get complete solution through these methods. For a few days or a few months or a few years you can maintain this. Again the same problem comes. But the Dharma is for you to see the end of all these problems. So Dharma is not like taking 2 Panadols when you suffer from headache. After 2-3 hours, again you get back headache. So all these things that you perform, worshipping, offering, praying to the God and the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and just like taking Panadols for your headache. Headache is not a sickness. Headache is the symptom of a sickness. If a doctor can analyze and study properly, then point out what is the cause of this headache. Panadol is a painkiller. Kill the pain, but the sickness remains. So Buddhism is not like giving Panadol to kill the pain. Diagnose, find out where the mistake is, what is the cause. Who create this problem? Whether you yourself create all these things or somebody else, either God or devils or ghosts, who create all these problems? Then we can understand. What is the time now? Started at what time? Now 9:25. At what time did you start? 8? 8? Oh, more than an hour now. Anyway, still I did not explain the stanza, the teachings of the Buddha that I quoted at the beginning. I said, Kiccho manussa patilabho, kiccang maccana jivitang, kiccang saddhamma savana, kiccho buddhanang uppado. There are 4 items here. 4 kinds of difficult occurrences in this world. Very, very difficult. First thing, Kiccho manussa patilabha. It is a very difficult task for a living being to become a human being. And we do not know, according to even theory of evolution, anthropology, that is scientifically, from the religious point of view also, this is a gradual development. Even after becoming so-called human beings, how many millions are there who are blind, deaf, dumb, crippled, mad, suffer from sicknesses throughout their life, bedridden? How many millions are there? So when you compare our way of life with them, we are fortunate. Our 5 senses are active, working. We are not mad. Our mind also works, although sometimes we go mad. We can work, we can walk. So we are fortunate. But there are so many unfortunate ones. So to be born like this is not easy. Again, although we have all the facilities mean physically, how many millions are starving in this world without food, without a piece of cloth, no medicines, no shelter. When you go to certain countries, you can see how people sleep on the pavement, under the trees, for generations, not only 1 or 2 generations. Their birth and death both take place on the pavement, under the trees. Human beings. How many millions are there in certain countries where they cannot find a land for them to settle down, floating in the sea, the boat, all the while going on like this floating. No land. They also survive. Again, how many cruel, dangerous people are there in this world? Majority. Again, our way of life, when we compare with them, still we are fortunate. But on the other hand, there are many who can enjoy their worldly life better than us. They have more than enough money and property and so many things. We think they are very fortunate. But occasionally we can see how unfortunate they are. When people come and kidnap and shoot and rob because of their property and money and so many other things. But in worldly sense we consider that they are fortunate. But their life is uncertain. They have more fear, more tension and suspicion in their mind than ordinary people. Now this is the nature of our life. So we can get rid of all these problems if we uphold the Dharma. Now you can understand. So becoming a human being is very difficult, although everywhere, all over the world, people try to adapt family planning. But when you compare human lives with other living beings, you can see human beings are only this much. Then to lead a real human life, to behave as real human beings, is not an easy thing. We become inhuman. That's what one scholar has said. Today, man is not what he is. Man is what he is not. Can you understand the meaning? Man is not what he is means today man's behavior, man's way of life, man's character never shows that man behave as a real man, real human being. Man is what he is not. That means man must change his attitude, his way of life. Then he can behave as a real human being. Corruption, immoral practices, wickedness, selfishness, cunningness are the things completely predominant prevails in this mind. That is why we have no peace. Innocent people have no peace. Difficulty of, again you have to support your family, your children, your wife and so many things. Then you have to do all sorts of crooked, cunning methods to earn, to support your family. When you do business, you bluff others, you swindle others. You encourage certain immoral practices to support your family and children. Disregarding that these things can create bad effect and bad karma. Is there no other choice? To support your family. It is not an excuse. The nature never forgives you for that. The existing law of the country also never forgives you for that. After violating the existing law in this country, when you were caught, you can say, yes, I had to do that because I haven't got enough money to support my family. Do you think the government will forgive you? The karma also exactly like this. Kiccang saddhamma savana. Third one. It is very difficult for us to know, to learn, to listen. Saddharma. Here. Real dharma. In the name of dharma, today many people are introducing adharma. In the name of religion, people introduce irreligious. You can see how certain religious groups come and try to introduce their religion, encouraging people to practice any kind of immoral practices. They say it is religion. Or they introduce adharma in the name of dharma. When you visit certain temples, can you see dharma there in the temple? Many of those places of worship and temples have become some sort of business centers to take something from the devotees. They never contribute anything to educate people, to teach religion, to teach dharma. So introducing adharma in the name of religion. Here the Buddha says, it's very difficult for you to get a chance to learn the dharma. Dharma means reality, the truth, the facts. This is called dharma. Kiccho buddhanam uppada. This is the most difficult thing in this world. The appearance of a supreme enlightened Buddha. Now we heard one Buddha appeared more than 2,500 years ago. After that we have never heard. Historical. And we do not know how many thousands we had to wait to meet or to see another Buddha. But people have created their own Buddhas according to their mentality. In many countries they have produced so many Buddhas by giving different names. But they did not exist on this earth, in this world. Imaginary Buddhas recorded in their book and given names also. We are going on producing more and more new Buddhas according to our way of thinking. They say this Buddha is very good for your prosperity. This Buddha is good for your marriage life. This Buddha is good for your good health. This Buddha is good for this and that. This is the way. In worldly way, for worldly satisfaction, we create Buddhas, we give names and encourage people to go and offer and pray. So in front of every Buddha, there is a charity box. Those who introduce these Buddhas collect this money, but not the Buddhas. So the Buddhas are very rare. But Dharma exists. Dharma taught by the Buddha is enough, if we can understand. Whether the Buddha appeared or not, the method is still effective if you know how to practice. This is the meaning of this saying, Kicho Manussa Patilapo. Becoming a human being is very difficult. And to lead a real human life also very, very difficult. To listen to real Dharma is very difficult. And to see a supreme enlightened Buddha is the most difficult thing. So these are the four difficulties. So, let me conclude. So, for more than an hour, you have concentrated, listening to the Dhamma. This is a meritorious deed, because during this period, you did not allow your mind to create some sort of mental pollution, disturbances, through external or internal imaginary thought. You maintain some sort of calmness in your mind. It is a meritorious deed. So the merits that we accrue today, let us transfer to the late Venerable Dhammaswara Nayakatera for his peace, happiness and final salvation. Say sadhu and recite Idang me Jnatinang Hotu Sukhita Hontu Jnatayo Idang me Jnatinang Hotu Sukhita Hontu Jnatayo Idang me Jnatinang Hotu Sukhita Hontu Jnatayo